Hello, welcome to another Open Geospatial tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to visualize Maxar open data, high-resolution satellite imagery for natural disasters, specifically for the recent hurricanes Helen and also Milton. So first, go to the GitHub repository. The link is in the video description below. And this is a Maxar open data repository that I created that retrieve all the data from Maxar open data program, but makes it much more easier accessible. And so Maxar released high resolution satellite imagery for natural disaster before and after, and it's freely accessible. It's actually hosted on AWS. So if you have an AWS account, you have it's in an S3 bucket that you can, if you want, you can download the data easily. But the Maxar open data is kind of retrieved and then distributed in like smaller tiles. And for beginners, sometimes it might be challenging for you to like, how do I easily visualize them without having to download the data. So here I show you some examples, but you can go to the repo, and then within the datasets repository, if you click inside, you will find some specific disasters that are organized here in the name of the disaster and also the month and also date. So for example, if you look at Hurricane Helen, if you click inside, you should see some of these GeoJSON file, JSON, and also Union JSON. So the Union JSON basically is just one single imagery. But if you look at the original one, the GeoJSON file, so this is what is being distributed. So it's actually like by smaller tiles, and then they have some smaller overlap. So specific for this one, right, you can see here, it actually has almost like 9 or 10 images together. And so it will be, otherwise, if you're trying to visualize them, they're just individual ones. So you need to create a virtual mosaic. And this is what this one is about. This JSON file is a virtual mosaic that we can visualize using T-tiler. So all the URL actually are within this one. So if you want, you can take a look at the data. So these are basically one tile, one imagery. And so we have a lot of images in here for different hurricanes. And similarly, for Hurricane Milton, so you can also click. So this one is basically affecting Florida. And I'm going to show you how you can easily visualize the data so you can see what kind of impacts of the disaster. So here, I created this web app called Solara, and Solara Maxar. The link is also in the description below. And once you're in here, you can click the files if you want to look at the source code. So this is basically just a GitHub repository, and it's actually at the beginning here on the homepage. So if you want, you can go to the GitHub repository to look at the source code. So whenever I update the repository, it will automatically update the web app using the GitHub actions. So it automatically synchronize the GitHub repository with Hugging Face. So this is what's being done. And so inside here, you can look at the source code, for example, the pages. So right now we have 5 web apps. So if you look at the Hurricane Helen, so this is the source code of the web app, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You don't have to look at the source code. I don't have time to talk about the source code in detail. We're just going to use the web app. So here is the one. So we have multiple tabs. It corresponds to the so source code here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's being organized in sequence, and you can click any one. So these are some of the previous disasters. So I'm going to look at the Hurricane Helen, and from here, when this loads up, you're going to see all the footprints of the satellite imagery, right? So if you hover your mouse, for example, lower right corner here, you should see the imagery. So this one, for example, was acquired on November 29, 2023. If you hover your mouse, it should update the one. So you can continue zooming. So for example, I can zoom into this area, and you can click on any footprint that you like. Then it should load the imagery. So under the hood, it's going to get that virtual mosaic JSON file, and then we use T-tiler to visualize imagery. So thanks T-tiler for providing the demo endpoint. And once you have this imagery here, you can uncheck the footprint. Then you can zoom in to see more details. For example, in this area, you can clearly see some flooding in here happening in this region. And in order to compare before and after, so we're going to use the Google Maps satellite imagery. So if you click this split map, then you should be able to see the base map beneath, right? So it's pretty serious. Look at this area, right? It used to have some buildings, and now it's totally gone. It's total destruction in this area, and it's all flooded, right? You can continue zooming. You can go upstream here, also in the highway, and many of those actually also are flooded. You see, the buildings are totally gone, flown away. It's very, very serious. And all the destruction. So some of the actually the international, the interstate highways actually were destroyed, and it might take a couple months to recover. So I heard that they're gonna take until next year to rebuild all the highways. Okay, so again, you are welcome to explore to see some of this. Okay, this one is gone. So this is just for any one imagery, but you can turn off this one once you're finished. You can turn it off, and then you can turn the footprint back on, and then you can visualize other area. For example, similarly, I can click this one, for example, right? So this is also October the 5th. So the hurricanes make landfall earlier this month. And so most of the imagery after the event, I think the flooding occurred October 5th and 6th. So this is why so many images are mostly after the event, but there also be some before. For example, September 22nd. This one would be before. So similarly, you can zoom in and take a look at here. And so this one is supposed to also flooded, right? So you can see some of the water in here, pretty dirty. And zooming, right? So the entire river. And so if the web app sometimes doesn't function very well, just refresh it. This is just for demo, so it's not for production. So you're welcome to try it out. If it doesn't work, then maybe just sometime let me know. I can reboot the web app. And you can switch to any other one here, for example, Milton. So this is mostly right now in Florida. And some of the images are before, some are after. So you need to basically select whatever you want. So when you click any imagery, it's going to show up here, the ID. And then it also show you the date in here. So when you zoom in, you can see the imagery. And after you finish, like look at this one. For example, you like this imagery, you want to download it, then you just figure out this ID 105, blah blah whatever. You can then go to the Maxar data repository, and so inside here, then you will need to look at those the ID corresponding, for example, the Milton, right? So go back here, 10500 D00. So 105 somewhere, for example, let's say, okay, it's this one. So this is the virtual GeoJSON file. This one is the GeoJSON, and this is the union one. The union one just a bounding box. Basically, the dissolved one. So what you need to look into is this one. So you can see all the images inside here, and these are basically mosaicing all together. So there are a lot of images inside this imagery. If you click the raw button and then just Control F, doctive, then you should see all the direct link to those images. And so if you want, I can just try this one out. So just copy this URL with something doctive, and then put on your browser, hit tab, you support up, and then ask you to download. So you can then download this one to your computer, just click save. And depending on this one is only 13.6 megabytes, so it's not too big. But this is compressed one. So the original imagery, if we after uncompress, it should be much larger. And this can be very inconvenient if you have so many images to download. So you are welcome to check out the leaf map. So leaf map, I actually created another tutorial that shows you how to download the imagery. So if you go to the leaf map website and then notebooks, scroll down to find number, I believe 69, for example, Turkey earthquake. So this one also shows you how to access the imagery, how to visualize them. For example, you can use leaf map to add all the data. And so you don't have to, if you want to integrate this one in your workflow, then this can be better. So you can retrieve the data, you can load them, and you can download the imagery. So this one line of code in here, Maxar download, and you can download all the images all at once. So this one just shows you kind of a more programmatic way to access the data. So you can download the data to do machine learning, do mapping, so they can help with the disaster recovery. So just utilize this one if this is what you want. But if you simply just want to visualize and then see the changes, then you can use my web app just to visualize the data without having to download anything in the computer. And for future disasters, if Maxar release the data, this Maxar Open Data repository, we automatically update the data. So it's being it runs every 24 hours using this workflow inside here, and you update it automatically. So I don't have to keep update it manually. So you can look at the commit histories in here. For example, for every day where it is updated, if there's new imagery, you will see from here. For example, October 18, right? And you can see they added the Hurricane Milton, and then it will automatically generate the CSV and also the GeoJSON file directly from the AWS S3 bucket. So for example, dataset, and then if you scroll down, you can also see all the CSV file. So look at this one, for example, Hurricane Milton, and there's a TSV file. So the TSV file should have all the imagery available. So look at this one. Right now, it's because it's too many, so it doesn't show you all the data, but you can see all the dates and scroll down all the way to the end. You scroll to the right, you should see the URL, the direct link. So most of those are actually in here. So there are different type of analytics. The mass GPKG, basically this one is the vector data, and this is the mass. This one is too many, so it doesn't show you nicely as a CSV format. Let's try this Hurricane Helene. Okay, this one is better. So this one, the file size is not too big, so you can see that in a tabular format. And at the top here, you should see this one, for example, the date, platform, GST, the resolution, catalog ID, UTM, Quarky, blah, blah, and then to the right. So on the right here, you should see, for example, the link to the Programmatic and the link to the, for example, the RGB, the multispectral. So if you want, you can just copy any link here, just copy, paste, and then you should be able to download all of them. Or you can download this CSV and then just, for example, use pandas to retrieve the column to get all the links. Then you can just download all the images all at once. So it's up to you which way you want. But I created this repo to make it much easier to access the data, visualize the data, so you can use that to fit into your workflow. Okay, so that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.